So, Mike, big news for the Nets. They signed Markieff Morris. Add
Yeah,
some toughness.
add some toughness,
Excited?
but I'm excited. But I actually that bores me for a minute, and I want to ask you: do you think Carmelo Anthony would be a good fit on the Brooklyn Nets?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Why?
Because I don't want him to sign with the Knicks.
Give me. Is that the only answer? Is that
No,
what?
that's not the only answer. The only answer, the real answer is yes, I do, because I think Melo, while he can't be relied upon to, do the things that Melo never did, like play defense or hustle consistently, he can give you that night where he's going to get hot and he's going to drop 15, he's going to drop 17. He can give you a little toughness as well. He's been around the block, and he loves New York. He's from Brooklyn. You know what I mean? He's just that kind of guy that you would want around for a team like the Nets, who are ready to rock. Hopefully, that you think
They're ready to rock. The Nets, Alex, right now, their shooting is so good, right? With Curry, Joe Harris,
forgot about Curry. I always forget
Kyrie.
about Curry.
Patty Mills is their
Yeah.
third stringer. I mean, the Nets are deep. I do like the signing of Morris. I mean, he gives them that toughness. He can stretch the floor at this point and, can knock down a three if you leave him open. And the idea, I think, for the Nets now is they're really signing guys that are more of that 3-and-D mentality. TJ Warren, Royce O'Neal, who did have his poor moments in the playoffs for the Utah Jazz, but for the Nets, he'll fill a nice role for them. And that's what they're going with. But the thing about this Nets team, dude, is they have so many question marks and so many guys that have so much to prove. Like TJ Warren hasn't played. We know he can score. Kyrie Irving is Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, Ben Simmons, Joe Harris coming off 2 ankle surgeries. I mean, they have so much to prove that it's going to be a wild ride with them. I like the signing of Morris. It feels like the right signing for them. I'm not going to get it's hard to throw a parade about these things. I mean, people were excited last year when Millsap got signed and James Johnson, and that ended up being a disaster. I think the Nets have a trade in them. Their roster feels a little redundant. Now, you might say you could never have enough shooting, but I don't think you need Curry, Harris, and Patty Mills. I think one of them could be expendable to get the right other piece, a big. I think that's the right. I wouldn't be shocked if I see one of those guys dealt, and you get another big on this roster, or
Well,
you get someone else.
Why didn't they just keep Drummond? Let me ask you that. They just had enough of him.
I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, I don't. He was awful against the Celtics.
I know, but what are you going to get that's better than him right now? You know what I mean? You're going to get
I don't know. It just feels a
Lance
little.
Thomas.
No, I'm talking about a legit center.
Yeah.
It feels a little. It just feels a little redundant to me with this Nets roster.
Well, I guess DeMarcus Cousins is out there still, right? I guess
Cousins is out there. I mean, these
what
guys
is he
all
though?
Stink now.
He's done.
I mean, that's the problem. I mean, Dwight Howard. I mean, it's just the same names of rotating same names back and forth. Like, let's do DeAndre Jordan again for the hell of it.
Right. You might as well.
Let's just see what DeAndre Jordan
make Durant happy.
Bring him back. Let's bring back DeAndre Jordan. Let's do that. I mean, but somebody said this, like, centers are like running backs in the NFL. There's just so many. Nobody's better than anybody unless you've got Joel Embiid.
Or Joker. Yeah.
Right. There's like a couple great guys, but other
Mitchell
than
Robinson.
that,
yeah, no.
I would disagree on that.
I'm
with
kidding.
Mitchell Robinson. No, you were not kidding. Your love affair with Mitchell Robinson. Not kidding.
I think he can be really good, maybe all defense one day, but
congratulations, all defense. Mitchell Robinson,
but he's
stinks.
No, stop it.
I'm trying to instigate now.
Yeah, we don't fake debates on the show like other people. We're just teasing each other. If Mike and I disagree, if we ever disagree, we actually disagree. If we ever yell at each other, we're actually yelling at each other. It's not like,
we need a good
talk shows.
We need a good yell session.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, I mean,
I don't know. What can I start? Kenyon Martin wasn't any good. Yeah.
Don't you go there. Don't you go there. Yeah, no,
anyway.
I don't think there's anything on that front. And I also will say, I think it'd be fun to have Melo on the Nets.
I think so too.
Get like nitty gritty. I mean, respect everybody that can do this, but like they put the rosters together and they're like, hey, you can't sign Carmelo because he has the same he has the same skill set as TJ Warren, and if you put him there, it won't work. And there was a 32% 3-point rate. I don't know if I can do that, but I can just say from the eye test and like his pedigree. Obviously, he's not the same player. He had some moments in the Lakers, they stunk. But I just know, he's a guy that
Yeah.
can score. He's
Yeah.
more reliable to hit. Like I would say this to Net fans. When he's in the corner, at least you think it can go in, as opposed to last year where guys were just like, you knew with like James Johnson, there was just no chance. You just knew watching him. It's like watching Dolan J. Trump shoot. You're like, it's not going in.
Yeah, and we never even seen him play, but we know that it's not going to go in. But
Fair.
it's funny because you say like maybe we have too many of the same guy, maybe too many, but you have to go into a net season. We talked about this, not being cocky. You guys are there's a good chance Durant's hurt for 2 months. There's a good chance Kyrie disappears. There's a good chance a lot goes down, not to mention just normal wear and tear of an NBA season and regular injuries. You're going to need these guys.
Sure, I agree.
Yeah. Yes, you should add a big. And I was just pulling up the bigs that are available still are like you can get Enes Kanter Freedom, Hassan Whiteside.
Ennis.
I'm sorry, Ennis, whatever.
No, that bothers me. You got to get named.
Enes. Yeah, DeMarcus Cousins, Moses Brown.
Well, I'm saying in a trade. If there's something available. I don't know.
But there are some guys out there, man. There's some big guys. You can bring back Ed Davis also if you want. Yeah. Tristan Thompson.
Thompson is awful.
I know. I'm just giving guys that can rebound.
If this was
Tristan's a mess. He's a mess anyway. He's got his own shit going on.
2014. This is a loaded list.
Right. Dwight Howard, Tristan Thompson, DeMarcus Cousins, Hassan Whiteside.
If this is Bad Weather Fans episode 12,
minus 15, list. It would be even better too, right? And Blake Griffin, you can bring back too. Paul Millsap again.
Fans negative 176. Bad Weather Fans negative 502. Dwight Howard's the MVP.
Yeah, there's not a lot of guys left, and this is part of my problem with the Knicks before. It's like you did all this crap, and now what the hell is your team if you make the trade and you got the you can't even patch it together because everybody's gone. Even Markieff Morris is gone too now. You know what I mean? Like, what the hell is left? There's nothing left.
You are right though about the idea of like with the Nets, and I'll counteract my point here. Joe Harris coming off 2 ankle surgeries. You want to make sure you have that depth. Seth Curry coming off the surgery as well. Ben Simmons coming off back surgery. I mean, basically, if you're not coming off surgery with the Nets, you're not doing something right.
But you know who's available that you could sign? That'd be a good point guard just to add to your roster.
Is this a sarcastic remark?
Elfrid Payton, man, he's out there.
He is available. I like him. I give defense. I mean, the last time he had a full season in New York, that team went to the playoffs.
It's true. So is Dennis Smith Jr. You can get him too if you want. He's out there as well. Yeah.
Man, it recycles
I feel
quick.
bad for him at this point. I used to get on Dennis Smith Jr. because he was anointed as the next guy, and like, how can the Knicks pass on him?
And then he was a Knick.
And then he became a Knick. Exactly. Like, how can you pass on him for Frank Ntilikina? Meanwhile, the guy that you passed on was really Donovan Mitchell. Bring it full circle. That's the guy. But nobody thought that was going to be the guy. And that's why he dropped to like whatever he dropped to in the draft. I forgot Donovan Mitchell and somewhere in the 10s. So anyway, that sucks. So yeah, the Nets don't really have a lot of options right now. And like neither do the Knicks to add to the final 15, 12. So I feel like this trade for the Knicks needs to be a 3-team deal, and the Knicks need to get a veteran back as well. And I feel like the Nets might need to make another move, like you said, just to get another body. And again, I don't understand why they didn't just bring Drummond back, but maybe they hated him. So who knows? Maybe he was the cause of all the problems last year, Mike. Maybe that was it. Now that Drummond's gone, everything's going to be better.
I don't know the answer. I'm sure there's Net fans listening to this, and they will tweet at me. Yes. The reason they didn't bring
Tweety
Drummond
Bird
back was
tweet at you.
Tweety Bird is fascinating. First of all, he's a great Nets fan, and he busts
chops. I get it.
He busts chops, but he also
she. We don't know.
He or she. Girl. Yeah. But we'll also call it like it is with the Nets at moments. But I love Tweety Bird's disdain for the Knicks.
By the way, we're talking to people that don't know who Tweety Bird is. We're talking about an account that's a Nets burner account. That's like Nets Tweety Bird or something like the cartoon. So it's like just always trashing me in my mentions, and Mike loves it. And
but you take it too with laugh.
I don't care.
I don't. How can I know it's because you know that he likes the show too, and it's just a joke.
Right. I don't care, and I don't take any of that stuff seriously. There's just one account that's been trolling me lately that thinks it's getting to me. Is this the real Mike Trout? That's just a picture of a cat.
That's me. That's my burner account.
The
There's a
real
real
Mike Trout.
kitty cat.
And it's like people are like responding. I'm like, dude, you're responding to a cat that's saying that they're Mike Trout. Like, why are you responding to this account?
It's a great account.
You know, so
that's my
anyway,
burner account. Maybe that's Kevin
Twitter.
Durant. You've probably at some point in your life interacted with his burner and didn't even realize.
Probably. I got an email once that I was interacting with Russian bots that at some point when it was like this arguing politics, 5, 6, 7 years ago when Trump was running, whenever that was, that they sent me an email, be like, these accounts that you were interacting with were actually, they didn't say Russian bots, but they said they were actually whatever. I don't want to get into that conversation, but it's crazy, man. You never know who you're talking to out there because they're out there, man. These players are out there. Even the ones who are saying that they're not active on social media, they have accounts, man. They're listening to everything. They're checking at halftime. They know what's going on. These guys have grown up in the world with technology. They're not like in their 30. It's not like 10 years ago where a guy's 35 years old and they're like, man, what are you talking? Like Tracy McGrady when he had him on, he's like, dude, I never paid attention to that crap. No. I have a Twitter account. Somebody runs it for me. I don't know what the hell's going on. He's looking at, and you think he's on there at halftime? No, he's focused on the game. But these guys, like you see Devin Booker halftime, he's definitely checking his Twitter. That's what these guys do. Kyrie, Durant, all of them.
I mean, so. I've checked. I check my Twitter at halftimes on my rec league games. Got to see. Well, that's probably because I just want to see if there's any trades.
Yeah, you traded?
No, not the NBA trades. Yeah, that is a weird thought though. But it's just people are human beings. But right. Yes, Tweety is. I love how he just has these reactions to Knick fans. Yeah, he had an interaction today. Some of this stuff is just so. It's just like typical Knick fans being Knick fans. Like, oh, congratulations, RJ Barrett signed a long-term deal. Like, oh, we're celebrating the first time since Charlie Ward. It's just